There was once a tiger who was afraid of nothing. Not the storms that flooded the river. Not the hunters who came into the forest with fire and noise. Not even the dark. The deep, heavy dark that made every other animal press close together and whisper. His name was Kale, and Kale had one rule. Never show weakness, never ask for help, never admit you are wrong. Every morning, he would stretch across his flat rock, look out at the jungle, and say the same thing. I am Kale. I fear nothing. The other animals had heard it so many times they didn't even look up anymore. Old Mira, the elephant, would just flap one ear slowly. The way wise creatures do when they've decided that some lessons can only be learned the hard way. One night, everything changed.
I could swallow that if I wanted to.
And Kale, being exactly the kind of tiger he was, said out loud, to no one in particular, I could swallow that if I wanted to. Now, here is the thing about the Kalahari forest. It is very, very old. And in very old forests, certain things are always listening. 3 forest spirits lived in the ancient banyan tree above Kale's rock. They had watched over the jungle for centuries. A silver fox, an old monkey, and a small ball of golden light that never quite stayed still. And said one word, prove it. Before Kale could think, the moon fell from the sky, shrank itself down to the size of a melon, landed right in front of his paws, glowing softly, smelling faintly of stardust. And Kale, because he could not back down, opened his jaws and swallowed the moon whole. The jungle went dark, not the gentle dark of an ordinary night, a total, pressing, complete darkness, like the world had simply stopped. The river lost its sparkle. The night flowers didn't open. The bats, who needed the moonlight to navigate, flew straight into trees. The wolves on the distant hill howled, not in celebration, the way they usually did, but in confusion and fear. Every single creature in the Kalahari forest felt it. Something was wrong. Something had been taken, and Kale sat alone on his rock, in the dark he had created, and felt something he had never felt before in his entire proud life. Not fear exactly. Something worse. The weight of what he had done. The moon sat in his belly like a stone, warm. The forest spirits came back. They didn't shout. They didn't punish him.
Give it back.
You can, if you ask.
Until Kale looked up. Give it back, he said.
You're telling.
You can, said the silver fox.
There's a difference.
Anytime. All you have to do is ask. I'm asking. He looked out at the dark jungle. He could hear the bats crashing softly into branches. He could hear the young ones frightened, pressing close to their mothers. He could hear the river running wrong,
I need
too
help.
fast, too blind, without the moon to guide it. He had done this, with one stupid, prideful moment. He had taken something that belonged to everyone. I need help, he said. It came out smaller than he expected. Quieter, like a voice he hadn't used before, because he hadn't, not once in his entire life. That's a start, said the fox. But one moment of honesty is not enough, Kale. The jungle has listened to you. Roar about your strength for years. So Kale walked into the dark jungle he had broken. He went to the bats first, apologized, asked them to guide him, because they were the only ones who didn't need the moon. They agreed, quietly, without making a big thing of it, the way animals do when an apology is real. He went to the fireflies who had been trying desperately to fill the darkness and couldn't. He went to the river and sat beside it without saying a single word about himself. And finally, he went to old Mira. She was standing exactly where he'd left her, in the dark, patient as stone. I was wrong, he told her, about all of it. She didn't say, I told you so.
I was wrong.
She just said, I know. Keep going. By the time Kale climbed to the top of the highest hill, something had shifted inside him. Not his strength. His strength was still there, but it had made room for something else, something quieter. The forest spirits were waiting. He didn't make a speech. He didn't explain.
It was never mine to take. I'm sorry. Now use that voice. Not for yourself.
Kale
For
took a
them.
breath, felt
For
the
them.
moon, warm and waiting inside him, and roared. Not the roar of a tiger who wants the world to know how powerful he is. The moon rose out of him like it had simply been resting, spinning upward, growing brighter as it climbed, until it clicked back into the sky, exactly where it belonged. Silver light flooded the forest. The river steadied, the flowers opened, the bats soared, free and easy through the bright night air. Kale sat on that hill until morning. When Mira came to sit beside him, they watched the sunrise without speaking for a long time. "I thought courage meant never being afraid," he said finally. "I know," said Mira. "But last night, the bravest thing I did was say I was wrong.